working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at noon.
Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Fisher. Right now, hundreds of thousands of people are in the dark, and it all comes as PG&E enters Phase 1 in the public safety power shutoffs. And Phase 2 is set to happen momentarily. That means more than 234,000 homes and businesses in 7 counties are about to see their lights turn off. The precautionary power outages are in response to a widespread severe wind event. The purpose of shutting off power now is to prevent a massive wildfire. The outage comes in 3 phases. The first was this morning just after 1 a.m. affecting 513,000 homes and businesses and just wrapped up moments ago. The second phase is about to go underway. And then a third phase, which would impact Kern County, is still being determined. But PG&E says it could happen as early as midnight. Here's a look at the parts of the county that could be affected. The orange highlights the potential outage zones. Areas include Taft, Arvin, Lamont, and Meadowsfield Airport. In addition, SoCal Edison estimates more than 19,000 customers will be affected in Kern County, especially in the Tehachapi area, Lake Isabella, and Fraser Park, among other places. Right now, there are no planned power outages with SoCal Edison. And for the most up-to-date information on outages in your area, or to enter your address to see if you're affected, just visit our website, KGET.com, and click on the hot link icon. And in anticipation of these planned outages, Southern California Edison has set up a community resource center in Lake Isabella. People affected by power outages can go to the Kern River Valley Senior Center. It's located at 6405 Lake Isabella Boulevard. And the sheriff's office also says deputies will be in the area conducting safety checks. Many people are worried about losing hundreds of dollars worth of groceries as their refrigerators and freezers go quiet during power shutoffs. But if you take a few simple steps, you can keep food cold, even without electricity. First, keep the doors closed. When you open them, that cold air escapes and is replaced by warmer room temperature air. A half-stocked freezer will keep food frozen for 24 hours. A fully stocked freezer will keep food frozen for 48 hours. If you need to fill space, just add water in jugs or bottles and turn the thermostat down to the lowest setting. You can also buy dry ice at most grocery stores. And just a quick note, PG&E will not reimburse people for any food spoilage that happens as a result of the power outages. Also, if you're in the outage zone, make sure to keep your appliances and electronics unplugged. When the power comes back on, surges can destroy those items. PG&E also recommends leaving a light on so you know when the power is restored, and always check on your neighbors, especially during warm days. Last month was Disaster Preparedness Month, and we hosted a series of web chats to talk about being prepared for any kind of emergency, including power outages. You can find those videos on our website, KGET.com. Just click on the Community tab and then go to Disaster Preparedness. And this is a good reminder to be prepared for anything. If you want to sign up for alerts from the Kern County Emergency Services, you can. Just go to ReadyKern.com. And if you have a question about whether your area could see a power shutoff, there's a simple thing you can do to get the latest from PG&E. All you have to do is sign up for their alert system. All you have to do is text the word enroll to the number 97633. 97633. And what you'll receive is you'll have a couple of prompts that will ask you, about whether, what your zip code is. You'll be able to answer all of those questions, and then you'll be able to receive alerts. Now, Kevin, I signed up for this earlier today, and I just got a notification a few minutes ago, about 11:25 this morning, saying that due to the weather forecast, PG&E may turn off power in my area.
Yeah, and we will continue to watch that as we go throughout the day. I signed up as well. In terms of the current wind conditions right now, the only area that we're seeing the strongest of the winds is out of the Tehachapi area, and starting to see those winds increase out of the Kern River Valley as well. Again, all areas of the mountains and desert will continue to see these winds increase throughout the afternoon. We're at 78 degrees right now in Bakersfield with a northwest wind at 10 miles per hour. And as we take a look at the temperatures for today. With that offshore wind, those winds coming off the Tehachapi's, I think will warm into the mid-80s. And then by 9 o'clock, we'll be looking at clear skies and 70. As we take a look at Tehachapi, you're at 68 degrees, 28% on the humidity. Those values are going to plummet as we go into the afternoon and evening. We've got a west-northwest wind at 22 miles per hour right now, and they will increase. Mid-70s for temperatures this afternoon, and then by 9 o'clock, still looking at that northwest wind around 15 sustained and a temperature of 54. We're going to go more in detail on this coming up in just a few minutes, but first we'll send it back over to Alex.
All right, Kev, thanks so much. German authorities say 2 people were killed in a shooting in an eastern German city today, and a suspect was arrested. Amateur videos show the alleged perpetrator dressed in combat gear, including a helmet, firing shots from behind a car parked in the street. It was not clear what he was shooting at. Local media said the shooting took place in front of a synagogue and that a hand grenade was also thrown into a Jewish cemetery. The violence occurred on Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year in Judaism, when Jews fast for 25 hours seeking atonement. Police did not immediately confirm the media reports associating the gunfire and grenade attack with Jewish targets. Federal prosecutors who in Germany handle cases involving suspected terrorism or national security took over this investigation. Turkey launched a military operation today against Kurdish fighters in northeastern Syria after U.S. forces withdrew from the area. NBC's Matt Bradley has more from Iraq.
Yeah, that widely anticipated Turkish assault on northern Syria has begun. We've already seen the Turks launching airstrikes into northeastern Syria against presumably mostly Kurdish Syrian Democratic Forces targets there. Now, the Syrian Democratic Forces are U.S. allies, just like the Turks. So what we're seeing are 2 battle-hardened U.S. allies fighting it out on territory that until now was relatively peaceful by the standards of the Syrians. And so this could be a really bruising battle, and we could have quite a few civilian casualties. And that's exactly what the Syrian Democratic Forces have been warning. They've asked the United States just in the last couple of hours to please impose a no-fly zone on northeastern Syria. It seems unlikely that the United States or the coalition that has been fighting ISIS will comply with that because, as we know, President Trump has already given his tacit or active approval to President Erdogan of Turkey, allowing him to make this incursion into northeast Syria. And President Trump has tweeted just again today that he wants to give the Turks control over the fight against Islamic State. Now, that could be problematic if the Turks come in and if the Syrian Kurds, the Syrian Democratic Forces, abandon those positions. They could be allowing ISIS to escape and spread throughout Syria, throughout Iraq, or throughout the region. So to say that this is just a Syria problem or just a Middle East problem is really to sell this very short. This will have knock-on effects throughout the entire region and possibly throughout the world. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Erbil, Northern Iraq.
4 people are behind bars in connection with a series of armed robberies. The sheriff's office says the robberies happened at these 7 stores between September 21st and October 3rd. The robbers allegedly stole cash from the registers. Detectives identified 5 suspects, 2 of whom are teenagers. Deputies arrested 4 people, including the teens. KCSO says detectives are aware of at least 2 other robberies that occurred within a BPD jurisdiction. If you have any information about these robberies, you're asked to call KCSO at 861-3110 or Secret Witness at 322-4040. Well, if you're looking for a place to eat lunch today, we've got you covered because we're teaming up with the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault for our annual barbecue. And this afternoon, Vanessa Dillon joins us live right outside Compassion Corner with a look at today's barbecue. Vanessa, those burgers are so good.
Good afternoon, Alex. Yes, and it smells so good out here. It's unbelievable. I'm already about to get a burger myself here. But first, I want to introduce Louis Gill here. He is CEO with the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault to tell us a little bit about, we do this every year. Why is it so critical to do something like this?
Because each year we're helping more than 2,300 survivors of domestic violence, more than 600 survivors of sexual assault, and those services are absolutely critical for our town and for our county.
And why not, enjoy a burger while you're helping people out, right? And it's a pretty neat story here. So tell me a little bit about this going on, this barbecue over here. You got it this week, right?
So for years I have coveted everybody else's barbecue, and I've wanted to be able to have them for our own fundraisers, but also to be able to do barbecues for the people we serve and for the staff. Well, for the last 5.5 months, these two gentlemen behind me have been hiding this in the next door lot, working on it nights and weekends so that they could give it to me on Monday.
That's amazing. I heard this story, and they were trying to keep it a surprise, and it was all chaotic, right? They were like, oh, we might have something out here for you, and then surprise.
I went running across campus because they had definitely misled me. I thought there was a problem, and I got there, didn't realize what was happening, and then when I knew how much time, how much effort went into it, I could barely talk.
So neat. That's definitely neat. And Louis, tell me a little bit about the details for people watching at home. I know that this happened earlier. It started at 11, but people already started getting their food around 9:30.
So folks started showing up at 9:30 for hamburgers, so we started selling them. It's been very steady, and we're very lucky that the community comes out and supports us. It's critical so that we can help the people coming through our doors that absolutely need help.
And then, so let's talk details. You know, these are lunch boxes are $5, and you can stop by from pretty much 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Correct.
And there's a prize possibly, right?
That's right. We're also doing a raffle. So for $5, you get a ticket for a 65-inch Vizio with a Bluetooth soundbar. So the winner will be drawn tonight on the news. Come on down.
Very exciting. And I see that TV over there. It is huge, so definitely worth coming out here and just doing the raffle, right? So, Alex, for now, we're going to go ahead and send it over to you, but you got to head out here because it smells amazing.
Yeah, I'll join you in a few minutes or so while I get through the rest of the newscast, but save me a burger, okay?
I will, I
All
promise.
right, thanks, Vanessa. Well, as we continue to watch for possible power shutoffs, we continue to watch the weather that's driving them, and a reminder that a red flag warning is up for parts of our local mountains. We're back with another look at your forecast. It's coming up after this. All right, taking a look at your forecast because, again, all eyes are on the wind forecast.
You're exactly right. And we're showing you a live picture outside. You can see the barbecue is well underway and just a light breeze, as you can see on the trees right now. And really the wind event is not going to be a major issue for the valley. I do expect the winds to pick up a little bit. Our main concern is going to be in the mountains and the desert. Here's a look at the temperatures right now. 78 in Bakersfield, 77 in Delano. We have 60s and 70s up in the mountains, and then near 80 in the desert. 77 and sunny out in Wasco, and Arvin, 81 degrees under sunny skies. And then real quick, I'm going to go back here to the Arvin area. And what do you see right here? That is a little bit of blowing dust, I think, that we're seeing out near the Arvin area. Again, those winds coming down the Tehachapi, so we'll be watching for that throughout the day. And then Golden Hills, so we've got 73 degrees, and the winds are starting to pick up. Satellite and radar for California showing you the clear skies. A few clouds along the coastal areas of Southern California, but that is it. Daytime highs today in the 70s for Sacramento, 80 in Fresno, 70s down to the south, and 60s out in Morro Bay. So let's talk about the issues at hand here. High pressure just to the east of us is creating a very strong offshore wind. Whenever we see offshore winds, we see warmer desert air make its way into Kern County. So a lot of the forecast models suggesting lower 80s today. We'll see. I did put it in the mid 80s. Because of that situation also causes some strong winds, and that's what we're going to be seeing. The Santa Anas, especially into Southern California. Wind advisory for Kern County, and when we talk about Santa Ana winds, Southern California in the valley looking at a northeast wind 45 to 35 throughout the afternoon, with mountain areas seeing gusts between 60 and 70, and they have a red flag warning in place. And that is the same for us now, and you can see all around the state the concern with the red flag warnings to the north, now into Kern County, and areas to the south, and also to the east into Nevada. Here's a look at the wind forecast, and you can see the winds really blow throughout the afternoon into the mountains and the desert. We'll also be looking at a light breeze to pick up into the valley locations, and because we're so dry, wouldn't rule out seeing some blowing dust around the area. And this is going to continue through late tonight, relaxing somewhat as we go in the overnight hours. Here's a look at the red flag warning, or we call it a fire weather warning, for the Kern County Mountains, all the way from Lake Isabella, all the way through Frazier Park, through Friday at 6 p.m., and then the wind advisory is expected to cancel out by 4 o'clock this afternoon. So we pulled that back. The wind advisory was up until 11 o'clock tonight. Let's talk power outages, and we showed you this map earlier for just a second, then it went off the screen, but want to show it again. These are areas that PG&E may shut the power off to as we go into the Phase 3 out near Taft, Arvin, Lamont, up near the Oildale area. Again, these are areas that PG&E is going to be watching carefully throughout the afternoon. SoCal Edison manages the Kern County mountain locations, and there's a high risk that there may be some power outages up that way as well. So if the power is shut off, here's some tips. Keep refrigerator doors shut to minimize food waste. Build or restock emergency kits. Designate a meeting place for the family. Charge all the backup charging methods that you may have and install fresh batteries in all your flashlights. And then also create safety plan for the entire family and your pets, and identify any type of medical needs you may have if the power does go off, and keep windows shut and blinds drawn to keep the heat out of the home. So just a few tips if the power does go off. And here's a look at the forecast today. We are going to be looking at 86 in Bakersfield if we see those winds as we are expecting. 85 in Delano, 84 in Maricopa. For the mountains, we could see winds near 60, 73 in Fraser Park, 75 in Tehachapi, near 80 into the Kern River Valley, Lake Isabella at 79, 80 in Kernville, and we could be looking at wind gusts near 65 out in the desert. Sustained out of the west, 30 to 40, and a high of 81 in Mojave. Here's your extended forecast. We're looking at 78 for tomorrow, still keeping a light breeze around, and then we'll be in the 80s for the weekend. For the mountains, the winds will continue through tomorrow, again relaxing a little bit, and then we're near 70 for this weekend, and then the Kern River Valley forecast, lower 70s tomorrow, but then right back up near 80 as we approach the weekend. So all eyes will be on the flags pretty much as we go and watch the winds. But I think the main concern here is the mountain and desert locations in terms of the strong winds. And the thing about this is, we were talking earlier in our morning editorial meeting, we've seen these winds before. We don't have a high wind warning in place or anything like that. The real concern here is just where the winds are coming from the east. So you get that offshore wind, low humidity values, the wind dry, and the red flag warning. That's really what PG&E is concerned about, and SoCal Edison.
Well, and again, we should reiterate, too, that just because you're not in a fire danger zone doesn't mean that your power is not going to shut off. For me,
the grid's massive.
Yeah, the grid is massive, and that's what it is. And so, like for me, for an example, I'm just in a regular neighborhood in Bakersfield.
Right.
My power is going to be shut off, or could be shut off. So we are working for you to make sure that we get all the latest information to you. I highly recommend you download our KGET mobile app so that we can push information out to you as soon as we get it. And we are expecting to hear more from PG&E, this afternoon. So, of course, a lot of fluid information here that we're going to be working to get to you. So again, download our KGET mobile app so we can get the latest, and you can get it directly to your phone. All right, thanks, Kev.
Yep.
All right, well, I'm headed out to the barbecue after this.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
All right, we are on the road now outside our studios for our annual barbecue. We'll get to more on the barbecue coming up. But first, you know how you have so many different streaming services like Netflix, HBO, Amazon, Hulu? Well, sometimes it can be a little confusing on which shows go where, but there are a few apps that you can download to kind of organize things. Here's PC Mike Wendland.
Just Watch lists streaming services where you can watch movies and TV for free. You can rent them, you can buy them. There are nearly 40 streaming providers like Netflix and Hulu and Amazon Prime, HBO Go, and more. The app has lots of interest in genre filters and newly added shows and movies for each service. It's free for iOS and Android. Real Good pulls listings from hundreds of services to provide custom listings in one app. You can also rent or buy shows and movies that aren't available to watch for free. It recommends new shows, and it incorporates the ratings from services like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb scores. The app is free for iOS. And finally, Yidio monitors major services like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, as well as smaller services, delivering more than 100 of them in total. When you find a TV show or movie, the app will list the streaming sites that have it available. Choose one, and you'll be taken to their app or website to buy, rent, or watch. Some shows you can even watch in-app. It's free for iOS and Android.
Are you thinking there may be a place on your smartphone for one of those apps, but you'd like to check it out a little bit more? Not a problem. Just go over to my PC Mike Tech blog. There's my address on your screen. I built in a direct link to everything you just saw. Till next time, I'm PC Mike Wendland for NBC News.
All right, back outside here outside our KGT studios where we've got the barbecue underway. If you're feeling hungry and still need lunch, come join us. More on our barbecue after this. All right, it is a perfect day for a barbecue. The weather's perfect. We've been talking about those winds. A little bit of a breeze out here, but not too bad right now. Absolutely perfect conditions for a barbecue. And of course, joining me now is Cindy Lide. And Cindy, it's so great to see everyone come out here. What is it like for you to, of course, see everyone come out here and support the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault?
We're amazed. So the line started at 9 a.m. The barbecue starts at 11, but really it started at 9. So we are just floored. We are absolutely grateful that this community comes out in force the way they do.
And speaking of people coming out and supporting the Alliance, Vanessa, you're here with some ladies that have really supported the Alliance this year.
Yeah, and what's really neat is we're all female-owned businesses here, and you made some incredible donations. And just to shout out, the incredible donations you guys made. We're with Arctic Wellness right here, and then we have Happy Whole You, and then we have April Mazzario, and then we have Vibe Stitch. So thank you, ladies, so much. And, quickly, I know it's 4 of us here, but why was it so important for you guys to make that donation today?
It's a great cause. I mean, we're just helping everyone all around. It makes us all better.
I think the advocacy and the resources that the Alliance provides is extremely vital to our community for the people who have been survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault. So it's extremely important to me as well.
It's important for us all to do our part in our community in supporting Bakersfield. Absolutely.
With October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I feel like this is really good for women-owned businesses to come out and support one another in the community.
Absolutely. Love the girl power too, ladies. And of course, Alex, we have food out here, so that's the great news too. What do we have specifically today?
Well, we've got the hamburgers, of course. But I got to ask you, so they've donated how much money?
Yes.
How much money did you guys donate?
Altogether?
I'm not even sure. I think it's about $800.
$800. Wow, that is a lot of money. And of course, what's great, Cindy, is that this money is going to stay here in Kern County. We're going to talk more about this barbecue coming up after this. Here in downtown Bakersfield for our barbecue. And it is just so important, of course, for the people in our community to come out.
Absolutely. And, you're with us today. And tell me, we just had the beautiful ladies make some generous, very incredible donations. Tell me a little bit about why it's so important to see the community come together today and kind of do something like this.
Absolutely. Well, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, so of course the Alliance observes that every single year. And we offer critical services to Kern County. We offer the 24-hour hotline, which is 327-1091 if you are having a crisis. You can call, and it is all private. And walk in at our outreach, 1921 19th Street, and there's counseling there for men, women, and children, individual and groups. There's just a lot of services that are offered, and it's just a taboo subject, and this is a time just to talk about it.
I 100% agree.
And so it's great to also see so many community members come out here and support the Alliance. So, again, you've got plenty of time to still come down here to get a burger, chips, cookie, and a drink for just $5. And all that money staying here in Kern County to support the Alliance. And we'll see you here until 2 p.m.
17 News, your local news leader, continues 24 hours a day on KGET.com and our 17 News app. In the spirit of the Golden Empire, 17 News.